Tyrese Haliburton had an amazing playoff run.
Haliburton. He'll take it. He'll backpedal a three for the win. And he got it!
But then at the worst possible time for this to happen, happened. Take a look.
It's the right calf right away. He knew he was in trouble. Oh, you get in a situation like this, you're just sick to your stomach for the young man. We'll take a timeout.
Now, the game's got to get played, guys. OKC won the championship. That's how the story ended. And Tyrese's season ended like that on his side. But I do think that we could take a moment and extract a lot of spiritual truths that came from this situation. A spiritual truth such as, it is well within the purview of God to prevent our success. It is within the purview of God to prevent Tyrese Haliburton's success. And that's the part where I think as Christian entrepreneurs, we don't want to hear.
I am not listening.
Now, before we go head deep in that direction, let's take a look at Tyrese Haliburton's post after he got his surgery. And I'm not going to read all of it, but I'll just read some key points of it. Obviously, the very beginning, man, I don't know how to explain it other than shock. Words cannot express the pain of this letdown. Frustration is unfathomable. I've worked my whole life to get to this moment, and this is how it ends. It makes no sense. And, of course, he goes on to talk about how, a lot of people are telling him that they're going to come back stronger and a lot of cliches, and he's going to have to go through a lot of mental hurdles to get through this fight. And, this point right here, I also found interesting. I've already learned that God never gives us more than we can handle, which is, by the way, that statement is not found in the Bible. We'll maybe touch on that. But again, he goes on that, his spirits are up. He's going to fight like crazy to get back to normal. And then he, of course, finishes off with Proverbs 3, verse 5 through 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean on not your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make your paths straight. Now, I do like how his tweet started and how it finished. In the beginning, if you remember, it said it makes no sense. While in the end, it finishes off, trust in the Lord. What a wonderful way to kind of start it and finish it. I don't know if he did that on purpose, but that's exactly how it feels. Like when we're not having the success that we want and we've done all our homework, we've worked hard, we've done everything that's within our power, and then it lands in such a way that was just totally opposite to what we expected. Right away, we're just baffled. We're like, this doesn't make no sense. Why am I struggling? Why is business not getting off the ground? Why are sales down? Why? But while it's okay to ask ourselves that question, we always got to put that on the burner, on the table of, hey, I don't understand, but the Lord understands. And I got to put my trust and faith in his plans. You see, God, he is totally able to prevent your success and my success, and evidently Tyler Haliburton's success. And we're never going to understand why. But if you put your trust in the Lord, that's where all of those feelings of like, man, I deserve success. No, you don't. You don't deserve success, right? That is by grace that God gives that to us. So be very, very careful, guys, to fall into that trap of what a lot of leaders in business say, like, okay, if you do this, if you do that, they try to give you the formula. Listen, guys, God's in control 100%. He's in control. Now, yes, we have a part to play in it, and also God has 100% part to play in it as well. And how that all comes together, that is a mystery of God. But I love it how, again, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. And folks, I've lived this. I'm so thankful that God did not give us the success that we wanted early on in our business. And even today, man, we have such aspirations, such goals, but we're nowhere near where we want to be in our business, even right now at the time of this recording. But the reason why I'm grateful that God has not granted us and blessed us with that is because had we had success early on, I don't think we would have, at the time we were going to a church where it was a mega church, and I wouldn't call it, a prosperity theology type church, but, not too far away, levels away from that. And so if we had this early success, we probably would have used that success as a way to blind ourselves against biblical truth. We probably would have done that. We would have just all know, like, of course God wants us to all be rich and God wants all us to be successful and all. No, he doesn't. And had we had that success early on, I don't think we would have been as open to today. What? Now we're in a different church, and boy, is it so biblically sound. Great theology preached, has had an enormous benefit to our family, to our kids. That would not have happened, my belief, if we would have had success early. That is just one reason of why God may prevent success. See, guys, haven't you ever seen just some people just get purely lucky? Just get pure, like you've worked harder than them. You maybe by every metric maybe deserve it more, but just God blesses who he blesses. And we can't get salty about that. We just got to trust in the Lord because there's a much bigger plan than our plan going on. Now, the small tweak I would give to Tyrese Haliburton's post is the portion where he goes, God will only give us things that we can handle. And that's actually not found anywhere in the Bible. This is a very misinterpreted verse, and it comes from 1 Corinthians 10:13. And it reads, so he will not allow you to be tempted, emphasis on tempted, beyond what you are able. But with temptation will provide the way of escape also, so that you will be able to endure it. So guys, as you can clearly see, this has nothing to do with the difficulties we face in life. This has to do with the temptations we face in life. Guys, the Bible does not teach that we can face difficulties on our own strength. The Bible teaches the opposite. The Bible teaches that the difficulties of life, we will lean on God's strength, not our own strength. But otherwise, guys, I know what Tyrese Haliburton is going to be doing right now is what? Trusting the Lord. And we should too, even when we're not having the business success that we want. If you find value in this channel, the channel that takes biblical content and challenges business culture, I want to ask you for your help. I would love to hit our first milestone of 100 subscribers on this channel. So if you do find value in this channel, guys, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. Thanks so much.